Here's something that might sound strange. Some of the stubbornest breakouts on your face might have almost nothing to do with your face. What if the redness, the flare-ups, the dullness you keep trying to fix with serum after serum actually starts somewhere much lower, in your gut? I know that sounds like a stretch. You've probably tried the cleansers, the actives, maybe even seen a dermatologist and gotten a prescription that worked for a few weeks and then stopped working. So today, on Skin Health Authority, we're going to talk about the gut-skin connection, what the science actually says, what's exaggerated online, and what you can realistically do about it. And stick around, because near the end I'll walk through the signs that suggest your skin issues might have a digestive component, and one of them catches almost everyone off guard. Let's start with why this connection even exists in the first place. Your skin and your gut don't seem related at first glance, but they actually have a lot in common biologically. Both are lined with a barrier that has to let good things in and keep harmful things out. Both host huge communities of bacteria. Yes, your skin has its own microbiome too, not just your gut. And both are deeply wired into your immune system and your nervous system. So when researchers talk about a gut-skin axis, they're really describing how inflammation, immune signaling, and even stress hormones that originate in your digestive system can influence what shows up on your skin. This isn't some fringe wellness idea. By the way, it's an active and genuinely interesting area of dermatological research. What is still being studied, and what I want to be upfront about, is exactly how strong that link is for any one individual, and how much of it can be fixed through diet alone. So let's separate what's fairly well established from what tends to get oversold on social media. Here's what does have real scientific grounding. Your gut houses trillions of bacteria, often called your gut microbiome, and when that community is balanced, it plays a role in regulating inflammation throughout your body. When that balance is disrupted, something called dysbiosis, the immune system can respond with low-grade, chronic inflammation. And inflammation doesn't stay neatly contained in your intestines. It circulates. Your blood vessels carry immune signals throughout your body, and your skin, being one of the largest and most richly supplied organs you have, is very sensitive to that circulating inflammation. This is one reason conditions like acne, rosacea, eczema, and general skin sensitivity are increasingly studied not just as skin problems but as conditions with systemic, whole-body components. Now, you've probably also heard the term leaky gut thrown around a lot online, often with dramatic claims attached, that it's secretly causing your acne, draining your nutrients, ruining your hormones. I want to be careful here, because this is exactly the kind of area where influencers tend to overstate the science. Intestinal permeability, meaning the lining of your intestine allowing more than it should to pass through, is a real, studied physiological phenomenon, especially in certain digestive conditions. But the idea of leaky gut syndrome as a standalone diagnosis that directly explains most skin problems is not something with strong, settled scientific consensus yet. So take that specific claim with a good amount of caution, and don't let anyone sell you an expensive supplement based on it. What we can say with more confidence is this: chronic inflammation, whatever its origin, tends to disrupt hormonal balance, and hormonal fluctuation, especially involving estrogen and androgens, is a well-documented driver of acne and oil production. So the chain looks something like this. Gut imbalance can contribute to inflammation. Inflammation can influence hormones, and hormones influence your skin. It's not always a straight line, and genetics, skin barrier health, and your actual skincare routine still matter enormously. But the gut is a piece of the puzzle that often gets ignored entirely. There's another piece worth mentioning: the brain-gut-skin connection. This is actually one of the more evidence-supported parts of this whole picture. Your gut and your brain are in constant communication through nerves, hormones, and immune signals. When you're stressed, your body releases cortisol, and cortisol is well known to increase oil production and inflammation in the skin. This is why so many people notice breakouts right before an exam, a big event, or a stressful week at work. It's not a coincidence, and it's not just in your head. Stress genuinely does show up on your face, partly through this gut-brain-skin pathway. So let's talk about the signs that might suggest your skin issues have a digestive or gut-related component, rather than being purely a topical skincare issue. Sign 1. Frequent bloating, irregular bowel habits, or ongoing digestive discomfort. If your gut itself is clearly unhappy, it's reasonable to wonder whether that's connected to what's happening on your skin. Sign 2. A pretty direct pattern between certain foods and breakouts. If you notice that heavily processed foods, a lot of added sugar, or large amounts of dairy seem to consistently show up as breakouts a day or two later, that's a pattern worth paying attention to and mentioning to a professional, rather than something to just brush off as coincidence. Sign 3. Breakouts concentrated along the jawline, which is often more closely tied to hormonal fluctuation than to your cleanser or moisturizer choice. Sign 4, and this is the one people miss the most. Your skin gets noticeably worse during periods of stress or anxiety, even when your skincare routine hasn't changed at all. That's the brain-gut-skin axis in action. Sign 5. A recent course of antibiotics, or frequent use of medications that reduce stomach acid, like some antacids. These can shift the balance of bacteria in your gut, and while that doesn't automatically mean your skin will react, it is a reasonable thing to consider if your skin changed around the same time. I want to pause here and say clearly, none of these signs are a diagnosis. Skin conditions have many possible causes: genetics, hormones, skin barrier issues, environmental factors, and yes, sometimes gut health too. If you're dealing with persistent acne, rosacea, eczema, or unexplained sensitivity, please see a dermatologist, and if you suspect a digestive component, a doctor or gastroenterologist as well. This video is meant to help you understand the science, not replace that kind of personalized care. Alright, so what can you actually do with this information? Let's go through some general habits that are broadly supported by current nutritional and dermatological understanding. Nothing extreme. Nothing that requires a specialty supplement stack. First, prioritize fiber. Vegetables, fruits, legumes, and whole grains support a diverse and generally healthier gut microbiome, and a diverse microbiome is associated with lower systemic inflammation. This is honestly one of the most consistently supported pieces of nutrition advice out there. Second, be mindful of highly processed foods and excess added sugar, not because they're toxic, but because diets high in refined carbohydrates and sugar have been associated in research with increased inflammation and, for some people, worse acne. This doesn't mean eliminating entire food groups or fearing dessert. Moderation is the actual, boring, evidence-based answer here. Third, consider fermented foods like plain yogurt, kefir, or other naturally fermented options, which contain live bacterial cultures that may support a healthy gut environment. If you have any digestive conditions, check with your doctor before adding new fermented foods regularly. Fourth, stay adequately hydrated. There's no magic number of glasses that applies to everyone. Your needs depend on your body size, activity level, and climate, but consistent, adequate hydration supports digestion and overall skin function. Fifth, and I'd argue this might be the most underrated one, manage your stress. Whether that's through regular movement, breathing exercises, better sleep, or just carving out time to decompress, lowering chronic stress can meaningfully reduce the cortisol-driven inflammation that affects both your gut and your skin. And sixth, if you've recently taken antibiotics or use antacid medications regularly, that's worth mentioning to your doctor, especially if you've noticed skin changes around the same time. Not to stop taking necessary medication, but to have an informed conversation about it. I do want to be honest with you. Fixing your gut health is not going to single-handedly cure acne, rosacea, or eczema for most people. These are usually multifactorial conditions. What proper gut supportive habits can do is remove one more contributing factor and potentially make your skin more responsive to the actual dermatological treatments, like the right cleanser, barrier-repairing moisturizers, or prescribed treatments that address your specific skin type and concern. Think of it less as a replacement for skincare and more as one supporting layer underneath it. So, quick recap before we wrap up. Your gut and skin are connected through inflammation, immune signaling, and the brain-gut-skin axis. Some ideas floating around online, like leaky gut being the secret cause of all your acne, are oversimplified and not fully backed by strong consensus, so be skeptical of anyone selling you a quick fix based on that. What is reasonably well supported is that a fiber-rich, less processed diet, healthy hydration, and real stress management can support both your digestive health and your skin over time. And if you're dealing with persistent skin concerns, please loop in a dermatologist and a doctor if you suspect a digestive issue too. This video is general education, not a diagnosis or a treatment plan for you personally. If any of those 5 signs sounded familiar, I'd genuinely love to hear it. Drop a comment and let me know which ones hit home for you, or if there's a specific skin topic you want broken down next. And if you found this useful, subscribing helps this channel keep making videos like this one. Thanks for watching Skin Health Authority. Take care of your skin, and apparently, your gut too. See you in the next one.